Hello. We are talking about happiness today. It is alive, so let's get ourselves situated on Instagram as well. Let's see what's going on. Hold on. Let's see. You have to do it again. There we are. Hello, beautiful people. We are live. And it's a Tuesday, so it's the beauty of spontaneity. So with Wisdom Tuesday. So it is also an IGTV for everybody who comes in when when stuff happens. Hello. It's fun to have people live, but it's also kind of a teaching. And I call this teaching happiness. And it is kind of really to just understand the simplicity of happiness or life. So sometimes we can have structures, as in doing something every Wednesday or doing something every day. But structure is or will also actually create it will also like gradually create a box, and the energy is kind of restrained in the box. So as this is not necessarily just looking at the mind, but we are opening up energy, we are opening up the energy body. This is allowing the energy to keep uplifting, to keep remaining spontaneous, keep the spontaneity of life, beauty of life. And that is where happiness comes in. And that's where like this teaching isn't necessarily, you can't really put it in a box. I'm not doing something right. I'm doing something spontaneous. It's spontaneity. And if we talk about happiness, it's like an easy way to understand. We all kind of like are seeking happiness in our life. And with the mind, we organize life into I will be happy if that happens. I will be happy if that happens. I will not be happy if that happens. So we're testing out, and then we hear people like, oh, this will make you happy and this won't make you happy. So it's like the mind's organization of life, where we kind of seek these things, and then you will experience, if you achieve certain things, you will feel happiness. And it's a little bit of the trap of the mind. You can kind of manipulate yourself. Your mind is very manipulative. It can like force yourself to be happy. Or you can experience happiness and in certain parameters and think that you need always those parameters to be happy. And yet, that is not necessarily so. But it's easy to think that because I experience happiness, and that, so you try to recreate the situations to make the same box to make you happy. And for a while, you actually can force it in a way. You can manipulate it. But gradually, the teaching of life comes in, and you're not necessarily meant to manipulate life. You're meant to kind of harness and enjoy life. So having to control everything works, but for a little while, because when you control stuff and say, this will make you happy, you also start to create stuff, this will not make me happy. So you're creating a very charged life. Life becomes very heavy, and that is kind of a teaching in itself, how the ego makes life very heavy. And that manifests in the body as kind of imbalances, energetic organ imbalances, emotional, mental imbalances. So thus you see people have gradually different health issues. So gradually we kind of get so swamped into that we also create unhappiness in certain situations, that it's almost hard to just seek those happy situations, because the unhappy situation, we're not aware that we are creating both in this dual way of looking at life. So every time we're unhappy, we were like gradually, like, we're closing our eyes, we're biting our chin, and we're like, ugh, can't I just be happy? Well, you have already created this scenario of, I want to be happy and unhappy, happy, unhappy in situations. And thus it is a game of the mind, the game of the ego in a sense. And a game that you kind of take on, you learn it from society, you learn it from your parents, you learn it from your friends. So you can get stuck there, and like, it is going to be kind of a heavy route, because you go back and forth all the time. So the next level, from the mind down to the heart, we kind of go into like seeking appreciation, seeking love. So we're going out into the world, and now we have to seek something with another person. So we want love from that, we want intimacy from another person. Well, what is that giving us? It gives us fear, insecurity, like change. We don't really know, just because we want to love that person. We don't know if that person loves us, so we have to listen. So that's the beauty of life. Like, you have to open up to life and open up to another person, but you have no guarantee that that person's going to love you back or like you back. So, reality. And in a way, we think, oh, a lot of people are, oh, just when you're married, everything is safe again. But you can also lose your husband, wife, kids, friends. That doesn't stop there. But so you can either be like, I only like to be liked, but I don't like this situation of needing love or like wanting to connect. And thus we stay in fear, and we say, I don't like fear. So we close our heart because we don't like fear. And yet, if we dare to open to it and understand that we're not necessarily knowing, we can't know if somebody's going to like us back, but we can dare to open up to the experience of opening to love, opening to connection. Then the connection is, we move from fearless to being in fear into fearlessness. That is kind of daring to step out in life, and daring to love life, daring to love people, daring to let people love you, and still be okay if it doesn't happen. That is calling fearlessness. Got some more people coming in. That's cute. We're doing a spontaneous Wisdom Tuesday instead of a Wednesday. It keeps it alive so that people sometimes are here and sometimes are not, because life and energy is alive. It's not locked into order. Our mind wants to order everything, and then we are shifting it up. because your essence is alive. It's not that it's not controlled. So kind of this is the little fun little challenge. So moving further on we got into the mind, and then we went into the heart, the mind of control, the heart to having to dare to open to the uneasy or the insecurity or the changing nature, not knowingness of life. And then we come back into like the hips, kind of like our sexuality or our power, like depending on how you want to talk about it. Sexuality can be like beauty, power can be like the man, like I'm strong, or I'm wise, I'm smart. That's power. Kind of like being the president, or being beautiful, or that's power too. Like in a way, we have gifts that we have kind of we put out there on others. They're so smart, they're so beautiful, they're so powerful. Or I'm so beautiful, I'm so powerful, I'm so smart. So we're creating this kind of idea of being unique to ourselves or to others. So then we can try to like run after others that are unique. Or we feel like others will attach themselves to us because we are unique. And this can also in a way we can look at somebody else's life. They have the perfect life. They have a beautiful life. They have a powerful life. They have an abundant life. They have so much money. Or we can say, I have the beautiful life. I have the loveful life. I have a lot of money or power and beauty. But in a way, that is uniqueness as well. So at this level, we kind of really step into the ego of kind of seeking the uniqueness of others, or seeking the uniqueness of ourselves, or feeling that others are seeking us, or others are like trying to avoid us because they are so unique. So we have this game of life. So our energy is like caught up in this game because we understand we have learned this from your little, whether it's from our parents, our friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, our kids, our culture. They're all engaging in these kind of hide and seek games, trying to be better, trying to focus on gifts, but your gifts will also be trapped in the ego. We are getting obsessed with our own uniqueness or somebody else's uniqueness. If you're seeking a guru or seeking yourself as a guru or seeking somebody as a boyfriend or girlfriend to have the power in the relationship, or your kids or your parents, you are creating attachments that still will create this heavy energy. So understand that to really open up to your energy, you have to kind of go through these levels of awareness, levels of consciousness, levels of energy that will help you to stand more in your own power, your own energy, your own individuality, your own spontaneity. And to really kind of understand and to really connect with this energy, you have to dare to understand that your life is unique to you, and it will give you everything that you need on your journey. Just like your gifts and the way you are behaving is unique to you and will give you what you need to for your life to be perfect and for your life to be uniquely yours. So when I talk about this, it requires faith. You can actually open up to it with the mind and be like, oh, I understand everything Henrik says. Well, that's called philosophy. So this is not a philosophy. This is something that can energetically release and you can merge with it. So I don't necessarily want you to just believe everything he said, but you have to dare to have faith. Faith is what allows you to relax. Faith is what you allow you to dare to allow your life to be perfect, to let it be unique, to let it be uniquely yours, and equally unique as everybody else's. So as it is uniquely yours, you can rest in this. It can come into rest or come to ease. And you can harness and understand that when you embrace your life and your individuality and your soul connection to it, then you are connecting to your energy, and it will harness and it will give you health and longevity in your life. So it's not about being lifted by me or believe anyone else or believing me. I'm just here to give you the potential to connect with this simple truth and to allow all the truth that you're already carrying, return to this one. Simplify your life, simplify your connection to yourself, and start seeing that happiness that is easily here, that is naturally here as you. No matter how much you understand right now, there is more to be understood. No matter how much you think you're released in this moment, there is more to be released, because you're connecting with a bigger and bigger energy body, bigger sense of yourself, and that will kind of open up to a more grounded, more aware, more blessed feeling. The nectar of life can just keep flowing. So this journey is what I call the ease of life, when you dare to connect with it. I'm giving you the potential to connect with it. I'm not saying you're going to understand everything I'm saying. That will take time. But I say you can dare to enjoy what I'm saying and dare to connect with the essence of it. It's silent. Your soul, your being, your body is silent, and you can ease into it. It's like a breath that is like not physical. It's just, you can reach out and dare to be like, yes, I'm ready to receive it. I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm not forcing you, and you can't force it. So you can't go faster than is fit for you, and you can't go slower than is fit for you. That's the beauty of it. It will adapt perfectly to your flow. Your flow is all we're talking about. My flow is what I'm experiencing, and I'm experiencing a flow with all of you guys. Whether you're experiencing it live or IGTV, or when my book comes out, or a retreat, or all that stuff, there is a flow to it. And the more we enjoy this, the more happiness will happen in its spontaneity, in its changeless nature, in yourself as you. Woo! So that sets the energy for it. Now, those who kind of listen to it first time, usually this is given to everybody, but I would love a contribution if you are here and you're receiving this. If you're not receiving it yet, you might do the second part. It's a silent part. It is kind of like beyond the thoughts, allowing yourself to sink into the beauty of energy, to your energy, to the space that I'm holding, that I'm hosting, that I'm teaching. And that is going to be right now or in a minute or two. So you might want to get on some comfies, lay down in your bed, on your couch, or go and pee, get a glass of water or wine or beer, and then we will step into the second part, which is kind of allowing this energy to just sink in. So if you're here, or if you see this on IGTV or on YouTube, I will see you in a few minutes. Hello, lovelies. This is moving into the second part. So if you are new here, I would suggest I just finished a retreat that you can follow on IGTV on YouTube, or I have many actually previous you can find, or there might be a new one coming up in a month's time. But these wisdom connections are good too. And understand this is not just, if you get a little overwhelmed what I'm saying, understand this is not for the mind per se. I'm using words, but the reason why we go into the second part here is because there's energy connected to what I'm saying. I'm talking from experience. I'm not talking from philosophy. Understand, most people in the West, we read books and we learn facts. We learn philosophies. Most religions, most spiritual practices are philosophies that people, it feels good to have philosophy. But there's this thing we can actually avoid. We can get caught, philosophy gets caught in the mind, and you can actually avoid actually tapping into the nectar of what I'm talking about, what I'm experiencing. So I'm talking from experience. This has been something I do for 20 years. It's experienced. I didn't want to teach it before. I'm like, I am bathing in the nectar of this energy that is natural for everyone, that we have as this little child, and that we can return to when we kind of look through the ego and go through all the dark spaces, places, and all the games that we are so used to. So lay back, sit back, stand up, go for a walk, lay down in the bathtub or go in the shower, wherever you are, relaxing, wherever you are, just surrendering. When I say lay back in the bed, it's just that is a very simple, easy, understandable way of experiencing when you just let your body go and open to not needing to control anything. And when you let go to control, your mind you have like a gate of saying, I don't need the mind, I need to just let go and release. So that is usually the night. And most of the night with myself are like at night, but it's a day too. But sometimes at night, suddenly just go into a different space, and you just let your body just do its thing. It might get heavy, it might itch, you might move from side to side. And yes, we're taking the energy in. It's coming down. I can feel it. So we're kind of like we're like a satellite. We're like a satellite receiver. We're receiving the energy. We're allowing it to sink in and allowing it to sink deeper and deeper into our body, just like soaking into a bathtub. We're just allowing it to seek in, to soak in. And maybe close your eyes. Drop your shoulders a little bit. Let them drop down. Let your whole shoulders, elbows, arms just kind of way down. It's like you're kind of surrendering to the energy amount that is coming in. It's a little bit like when you become sick, you feel you heat up. There's more energy coming in, and you might be feeling that you just want to eat good food and just like lay back on the couch and just relax. You want to just like not move so much because there's more energy coming in. It's a release. And then you can start to feel like heavy or pain or itching or burning or coldness in your body coming in. And now it's kind of dropping down. The chest drops down. And when it drops down, the muscles, the joints gets time to heal. It gets time to breathe. It gets time to release toxins, all the energy that is no longer needed in the system. And then you kind of shake your hips a little bit, roll them a little bit, maybe roll from side to side, kind of like a cat. You're just and let the energy coming down into the hips as well. And then from there, kind of like hits the genital, but it actually continues down your butt, or like in between the genitals and your butt, down into your thighs. But like shake your knees a little bit and allow that energy to kind of keep going down. And by allowing, I'm not saying that you can actually force it. It is more of a surrendering. It's just more listening to what I'm saying and not necessarily have to understand all I'm saying. This is not about understanding. It's about allowing, having faith therein to connect with the energy. It is simpler than understanding it, but it's too simple for most. Unless you're ready to move beyond and daring to simplify. We all are where we all are, and that is the beauty of it. Some people need complications, some people are ready for simplicity. And then it goes back down into your ankles, your toes, on your feet. Like your body might crack, you might just kind of zone out and get tired and fall asleep. Actually, some people do. And there's like this kind of peaceful state of just where you have a body, but you're not your body, and you're just looking at your surroundings, whatever, and you're just kind of, you might suddenly like experience thoughts, creative energy that suddenly about stuff that you have been like dabbling in, stuff that you've kind of been struggling with or wondering about for a while, or stuff that you didn't really understand at all. And suddenly it's like, I can let it go. Or like, that's how I can meet that situation. Or, it's going to go okay. You can feel ease, trust. And then your feet heats up. It's almost like you release energy down into the ground, and then it actually comes up again. It's like a circle, all the way down, all the way up. Now it moves up again. It starts to move up. In your knees, in your legs, your thighs starts coming up in your belly, your hips, your chest. It's almost like a breath just filling you. But not just physically, it's like it fills up the energy body, which is outside of you. So you might feel some breath coming in, also in your belly or your hips. You might drop down or shake or stretch. That is like stretching, like in yoga. The stretching is almost kind of like sometimes just allowing the surrender, allowing the energy through when you're ready to receive it. So a stretch is also a surrender, just like the cat just, or when you're just in the morning, you're just stretched because you just or yawn because you just feel like the energy is like waking up. When you stretch or you yawn or you crack your joints, it's like the energy is starting to come through and it's just starting to release and you're starting to allow it through the system. And so easy can energy be. And yet so complicated if for the mind, because the mind loves complications. So simplicity is too easy for the mind. So this is something that gradually will grow in you easily. So if you enjoyed it, please don't give a little donation. It's a way of connecting. If you're wondering, it's on Instagram or on my website. And we will continue to open and harmonize and expand into this beautiful wisdom of energy. And thank you for coming here today. And I hope you have